It is live now. We are live. Liver than live. I like the fake smile. Yeah. So it's January. No, it's April 15. Wow, Monday, April 15. And we are here hanging out for the Symphony's backend. I was just giving updates that last week we did get Ecto merged in to the main repo now. Symphonies.
What about rap for needs?
So I'm trying to get the. Okay, I'm not sharing my screen.
No. Yes, I think it would be good. We can see what you're. Right now, we can't see what you're talking about, Mike. You're saying such wonderful things, but we don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, so I was trying to look for what's it I was looking for? The board and is it Zen Hub? I think so. I think I have bad connection. Wow. Has yours opened first? Okay, there it is. So Dominic was working on was supposed to work on the Dockerize for deployment ticket, and us we are supposed to work on this.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Well, what are we doing? We're working on what? The artist restarts. Yes, artist restarts. Nice. Moses is here. Moses! What's up, my friend?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you today?
Great.
I've actually seen you already today. Second time.
Yeah. I have some free time this evening, so
great.
I want to check. I'm just checking in on nearly every meetup.
Yes, thanks for joining. Mike is just walking us through some. We're doing backend Elixir stuff.
I read it. It's for the Symphonics, right?
Uncle.
Yes, it's for the Symphony's backend. So we have Symphony, it's React on the front end, and then it's Phoenix on the back end.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this session is normally to work on symphonies, and now, or maybe I will just say Alexa stuff. And now there's this. I don't know if you're familiar with symphonies. I will maybe show you a little bit of mockups.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got the front end running, but I know. Yeah, I was able to get the front end running, but I know nothing about the back end yet. I was able to view, to like scan through the site, what is being done, the front end. I pulled it and I was able to run it. Apart from that, I haven't done anything yet.
Yeah. So what, as you can see in the mockups here, it's supposed to raise some funds based on artist performances and stuff like that, maybe fundraising and other sorts of stuff. So the first thing, we have artists, we have performances, and we have courses. And the mockups are such that you have these artists, and then you have the performances, and whatever money they raised, and the courses they supported, and yeah. But then now it's so obvious that we have the artists. So in our endpoint, we need to get an artist endpoint from the backend. So as the front end are doing stuff, they're currently maybe just I wouldn't say faking, but using static data. Yeah, there's no request sent to the backend to get stuff to display. So the backend, I think this is the first resource that we are working on from the backend, yeah, and it's now the artist's resource. That's the first one. So if you come to our board for the backend is on ZenHub, and now this is the issue. Artist resource.
It's what?
ZenHub. ZenHub. Let me just share that here. Okay,
I didn't get you, Bob.
Yeah, I'm breaking.
Okay. Yeah, ZenHub.
You sound okay to me, Mike. But
yeah, so it's ZenHub. I've just shared the link.
Okay, I see it. Let me check it out.
And this is the issue. The issue 14. I think it's in it's in progress, because we started working on it, and then later on we decided to add Ecto as a separate ticket, and then add artist resource on its own. So yeah, I would maybe get us started.
You're at, Mike. You're at.
I don't know if you have any questions we could try tackle as we wait.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we planning on test driving this?
I don't know. What are we planning to do?
Are we planning on test driving this?
Back to you. What are we planning to do?
I think we're gonna test drive it. I know.
Nice. Good choice, Matt.
Although there was some conversation about how to test drive it, right?
Yeah, I had a chat with Federico earlier today.
Oh, did you? It's
Yeah,
like that, huh? You just talk to Federico whenever you want.
yeah, I'm that awesome.
You have like a direct line to him.
Look at now what I'm typing down.
What do you think?
So I was doing git list, like
Yeah.
instead of git
Sometimes I do
branch.
yarn pull, and then I realize you can't do yarn pull.
Are you familiar with Elixir and Phoenix?
No.
Oh, okay. So this is git diff. So git reset. Who let the dogs out? She's happy. So yeah, so this was the branch we was at. So git status. Maybe I need to check out develop and pull. So and then git checkout. Oh my god.
Some conflicts there.
Yeah. So I wish I had done this earlier, so I don't get to resolve conflicts on this call. So maybe I just want to use the incoming change. Matt, you're the expert.
Yes, sir. Well, I don't know if that's true. What's the issue?
Yeah, I was rebasing and then.
Yes, nice. What's is it easy for you to tell what the difference between the two is? Or do they like the same?
I think they're like the same because I think we copy pasted stuff.
Yeah, but it seems like if they were the same, there wouldn't be a conflict. But
yeah, I think one had not been pushed up and one had been pushed up.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so maybe
you could just
I could do.
The same. Or you can abort the rebase maybe.
Yeah, and then do git log and where do I want to take it back to?
You want to take it back to this branch is what is this branch and what have we done on it?
It's the artist Add artist resource. I think I can just create a new branch.
Yeah, I would just create a new one. It's less work than trying to rebase and stuff. Just delete that one. Like go to master or whatever. Develop. I can't remember what we use on this. Yeah, and just start a new one. You know, because I don't think we did anything. We started adding the extra, and then we realized that it would be better to do that. You know.
What's your name?
Maybe I need to. Is it dash D? Maybe.
Yeah, it's either lowercase or uppercase. Yes.
Yep. So maybe I can just start by running.
Opa. Postgres does not exist.
Yeah.
Is that because you're? I thought you ran source on that already. You have to run source every time?
I think so.
Really? Because I thought I was going to add it to your I thought I was going to add it to your environment variables locally. Your system environment variables.
So this was the ticket, and then the expert asked if we could be given more and then yeah, this is about it. So Federico was suggesting we just run this command and we see whatever it's generated with.
Okay.
And
keep the field simple for now. Follow the instruction about adding it to the API route scope and running the migrations. I mean, one thing I really like about Federico creating issues is he's very thorough, you know. So, I mean, look at that. There's even a picture there.
yeah. So we're supposed to run this. We were thinking of calling this just artists. Or do you add the word context?
I don't know. Yes.
Yeah, maybe we just have it as artist, and then within artist we have artists, and this is the table name.
Did you instead of just copying and pasting that, why don't we have a look at the documentation for for that command, you know?
Okay.
What Phoenix are we?
1.4.
1.4.3. or one far. Here's the documentation. Yeah. So I mean, not that I doubt the command that that Federico gave, but maybe just to try to understand a little bit better. So it's like you have this. So that command generates the controller views in context for a JSON resource. The first argument is the context module, followed by the schema module and its plural name, used as the schema table name. The context is in a Elixir module. Let me share my screen as well. Actually, well, it's better if, Mike, if you just pull it up, and then we can read off yours. And there's really a lot of background noise just off from your side, so I'm going to just mute you, because it's go up to here. Please, feel free to unmute yourself if you want to contribute something. Mike, you're muted, so I can't tell if you.
Yeah, I thought the noise was from my side, so.
Oh. And no, in this case, it wasn't.
Yes. So you're saying?
I'm saying, like, if you click on that link I sent.
Yes.
We could have a look together, maybe.
Yeah. So we do the round robin reading.
Yeah.
So I will go first. Mix Phoenix Gen the JSON generates controller views and context for a JSON resource. So mix Phoenix Gen accounts users. So the first argument is the context module.
Yep.
This followed by the schema module and its plural name. So used as the schema table name. And the context is an Elixir module that serves as an API boundary for the given resource. A context often holds many related resources. Therefore, if the context already exists, it will be augmented with functions for the given resource. Then there's just a small note there. A resource may also be split over distinct contexts, such as accounts.user, payment.user. Yes. So this means we can have accounts and have payments, and within these different contexts, we have user.
Okay, it's been a while, and the term context in Elixir, since I'm migrating from the Ruby, and I've been having problem with this context thing because okay, the context is the resource. Okay, is a collection of resources. Okay, it can hold more than one resource, right?
Yeah.
And okay, what I'm seeing is that I'm seeing two contexts here: accounts, and I'm seeing payment, and I'm seeing user, which is a resource. So how are we splitting this? Because I'm not understanding this. I want an instance or an example how we can do that.
So does it mean that the user for payment has a name and the user for payment for accounts does not have a name? Why are we having? So the schema is responsible for mapping the database fields into an Elixir struct. I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name, Moses.
Yes.
So what we are currently working with is we have Phoenix, which is the MVC framework used by Elixir guys to do their stuff. It's like the most famous MVC framework for Elixir, and normally with the MVC frameworks we have the models and then the views and then the controllers. But if you are coming from controllers, so if you are coming to Phoenix, yes, so Phoenix are like trying to walk away from models and organize things into contexts. Like the earlier versions of Phoenix used to have models, but now the later versions like 1.4 that we're using, it's advised that we use contexts, and that's what they're saying here. So this command that we are going to run to create the resource, it's just a command that creates a context. If we see this, they're saying the first argument is the context module. So the context will just be like a directory where where a schema module will be, like the user will be referred to as a schema, so it's not a model. And then if you give its plural name, which is the users, that's used as the table name. And then after the table name, you just give the fields that are going to be used to generate this schema. So when reading this, I think that's why we were at this point. It's explained that if I read this, the context is an Elixir module that serves as an API boundary for the given resource. A context often holds many related resources. Therefore, if the context already exists, it will be augmented with functions for the given resource. And then, like if you have a context and
So what's the resource here? Like for example, let me just take the example of the command we'll be running. We'll say account is the context, right?
Yeah.
Then when they say resource, what do they refer to as the resource?
I think the user will be the resource in this point, because the user is the schema. So the schema, the schema is what's translated to be the resource.
Okay.
And then the users, that's the database name for the user schema.
Oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. So where we are getting confused is this note where they're saying a resource may also be split over distinct contexts. So such as accounts.user and payments.user. So they mean you can have two contexts like accounts, and accounts context will have a user. At the same time, you can have payments context, and payments context will have a user.
Oh, I see. But does that not mean like is the same? Will it be the same user? Can I see as if it will be the same user split into different contexts? Not like in one context he will have one type of data or field, then the other context will not have that field again. I don't know if you get me.
Yeah, but I don't know, Matt, if you understand it differently. But to me, how I understand it is that when they said we can have a resource split over distinct contexts, you may have a user with I think properties or stuff that's not needed in accounts, and also a user with properties that's not needed in payments. So in that case, you'll have a user schema within accounts context and also have a user schema within payments context. So these are like different schemas in different contexts. I don't know. I'm just
okay.
I mean that kind of makes sense to me, because like I mean, but then I don't know. Like I have. It seems like you would still have one table though, right? Like you'd have the users table. But then
yeah, because they talk of the same resource, not different resources, right?
yeah, exactly, yeah. So a resource may be split, but like how exactly that split works, I'm not really sure, because like it was helping me to look at that. Overall, this generator will add the following files to the lib, like where Mike's cursor is, and like see that it creates the accounts.ex, and then it creates inside of the accounts directory, as Mike already said, it creates like the user.ex with a users table. And so then like if there was another one like lib app payments user.ex, like how would that look different, and then would that share the table? And if so, like does it have, I don't know, exactly. I think like in the context of how we're using it, I don't think we're going to be running into that. So I think we can kind of have an idea of how we think it works, but if we're not going to actually use it, then I don't know if we need to understand it 100%.
So okay, just to add on that, okay, I think whatever Mike has said is makes sense, because if you look at what do really context do? Context does okay, when you go to controller, context tells controller how to do things. Controller just communicates, like it just tells the controller how to do. For example, if you want to create a user, the actual thing which is being done, okay, it's done in the context. So context tells the controller how to do things. So when you take a look at account, for example, okay, it's having both, okay, accounts context, and then we have users, payment context, which both have users schema, that is. So this table maybe has the schema that is has many, okay, let me call them attributes, which sometimes, okay, some of them are applied in the account and others are applied in the payment, where the ones which are used in payments maybe are not used in the account. So for example, when you are creating an account, maybe you need a name. When you're making payment, maybe you don't need a name, for instance.
Yeah, I think that's what Mike's saying, and that makes sense, I guess. Like I would still like to, it would still be nice to kind of see, like, I don't know if further down on the page it has, but it'd still be nice to see, like, to have a look at those files and how they would differ. But I think that makes sense to me, like, so unless anyone thinks that sounds crazy, then I think we can maybe move on.
So, Matt, you are going to read this?
Sure. So the schema is responsible for mapping the database fields into an Elixir struct. Overall, this generator will add the following files to lib: a context module in lib app accounts.ex for the accounts API, a schema in lib app accounts user.ex with I feel like that should be a user table, because it starts with a U, but it has a Y sound, so it's like users, not users table. In the live app web views user view.ex, a controller in the live app web controllers user controller.ex. A migration file for the repository and test files for the context controller features will also be generated. Actually, sorry, Mike, could you pull up the commands that Federico is suggesting we use, just so we can see? I think like the context and the.
I think I was supposed to share this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was copied in my clipboard without me noticing.
Yeah, I wonder if my laptop is working. I think it's still not working.
Yeah?
I think my laptop's still not working. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I need to delete this, the whole of this. So Moses, you have like VS Code?
I mostly use Vim.
Oh wow, Vimas.
Oh, nice.
Hard
to
comes with respect, you know.
I just have been using it for so long. I just got used to it.
Yeah, nice. We use VS Code mostly for like collaborations. So
yes,
maybe
you can't invite us to your Vim.
Yeah, you can't access my server with your Vim.
Yeah.
I think I have VS Code. No, I don't have it installed. I have to install
Oh,
it.
yes. I think my VS Code might be working again.
Nice. Yeah.
Ready to collaborate. I am ready to collaborate. I've been ready to collaborate for a week.
Woohoo!
Come on.
Christmas comes early.
So we have here. So the artist directory is the context. No. Yes.
It's
artist
the context.
And then we have artist.
I think we want to call it artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Elixir LS server crashed 5 times in the last 3 minutes. I'm in your VS Code, Mike, but you seem to be having maybe some internet issue. That's a pretty color. Who's that?
But you're right here, you know. I can see you here. Yeah. You're inside. Yeah, Matt, so you were saying something?
I was just seeing who's in the live share with me, you know, and then I saw that it was you.
Okay. Poor us. So what are we doing now? Going through this.
Yeah, I was just trying to have a look. Since we're reading about it, like I was just trying to have maybe have a mental picture of, because I thought that we were calling like the context and the what's it called, the schema module the same, but it's like, yeah, so I think it is the same except for one is plural and one is singular.
Yeah.
So like our context module has the same name as our table.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any idea, like, I remember we had talked about the naming artist directory and not necessarily understanding why we were doing that. And we had talked about also maybe not adding a reference to users until we understood a little bit better about where these users come from and like how users are different than artists in the context of the site. But so maybe that's something that we want to ask for clarification on before we add it, or maybe I don't know. I think it's easy to add later. But
Yeah.
did we decide like that we didn't like the like because I don't know if wasn't clear to me is if Federico has some sort of idea of why he was suggesting artist directory because he has like a fuller picture than we have, or if it was just kind of like we could call artists and that would serve the grander picture as well.
Yeah, I think we could just call it artist because it's weird to call it artist context, artist directory.
Yeah.
And see how he responds to that, And also on adding the user, I think you're correct about us just adding it up front because I think like Reda was saying we are not sure if the artist is going to be a user, so yeah, maybe it's going to be some inheritance if that can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's just okay to just create the artist without referencing the user. Anything? Anyone? Silence.
Yeah, sorry, I was getting I got distracted by something.
Yeah.
We
I won't
had
let you get distracted.
We had some breaking change build, and I was.
Okay.
So I sorry, I didn't even hear everything. Sorry that you said.
Yeah, I said that I just maybe re-said what you said by like I said there is no reason to add the user.
Yes.
Reference. Yeah, because we are just adding the artist resource and we are not sure if an artist is a user or if an artist will be a user himself or a user will be just browsing the artist. So maybe that's something we need clarification. And then on the part of having the context named artist directory, yeah, many guys don't call it artist directory. And we've even seen from the documentation, they're just calling it artists. So I think it's correct to just call it artist and see what Federico says.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing that we can't we can't change if he, and if he puts in a PR review and to say, guys, I really wanted, But I don't think he will. I think he was just giving us an idea. So I'm happy if nobody else seemed like they were like really unhappy with that.
Okay.
I guess like then we have the question of do we want to read the rest of this this file, or do we want to just create the thing like?
Yeah, I think we're almost there. So maybe we just finish this up.
Okay. So who wants to read next? Moses or Golf, do you mind reading?
Okay. Yeah, my kid asked a lot of questions. All right, let me okay. This paragraph, the location of the web file, controllers view, templates, etc. in an umbrella application will vary based on the context app, config location in your application, generators, configurations. I didn't even understand what that means.
Yes, so we have in this we have the config. So they said
let me read it again.
okay.
The location of the web files, controllers, views, templates, etc. in an umbrella application will vary based on the context app config located in your application generators configuration.
Yeah. So maybe first, you need to understand what an umbrella app is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because yeah, I think I don't know whether it's in the context of Phoenix only, but I think I think an umbrella app is it's like a parent app with many small apps inside of it. Maybe we can get some reading to.
Yeah, umbrella is like, for example, Phoenix One is an umbrella app, or it's like an umbrella organization. I'm not sure exactly what to call if it's app organization, but like it has, like, for example, Sync for Needs, Championer One. It has several different applications underneath the umbrella of Phoenix One. So if you go to like Phoenix One channel, you expect to be hearing, seeing talk about different apps,
Yeah, so like this guy is saying how to build multiple web apps with the Elixir thanks to Umbrella. So it's like you have multiple web apps and you have an umbrella that holds all of them, something of the sort.
So is it like it's the umbrella app that calls the apps under it, or the umbrella app is like some sort of root to the sub app, I could call them that way.
Yeah, I think for the apps to run, the umbrella app must include them in its configuration, so that the umbrella app knows that app A or app B exists. Like you create the apps independently within the umbrella app, but then when you want to call them from the umbrella app, you must configure them from the umbrella app configuration. So that yeah, when it's run, the umbrella app knows whatever apps has been configured to run within it. Yes.
So should I I continue with the read.
Yeah. So So context app config of your application's generators configuration. So in your applications, there'll be the config, and then maybe there's the generators. Maybe it's not here yet, but I think in the config you can have. Yeah, I think we don't have it yet, but yeah, I think it's just a configuration, generators configuration, that has this context app config. So yeah, you can proceed here.
Okay. When set, the Phoenix generators will generate web files directly in your library and test products, since the application is assumed to be isolated to web-specific functionality. If context app is not set, the generators will place web-related lead and test files in a web directory, since the application is assumed to be handling both web and domain-specific functionality. Example configuration. So, okay. I think that is it. Finish configuration.
Yeah.
So what they're saying here is the Phoenix application handles two kinds of let me say requests. How can I call them? Context. Because here they're talking about the web and domain-specific functionality. What does domain-specific functionality mean?
Domain-specific functionality. So, like in our Phoenix app here, I think we won't have this one because this one was generated without web stuff, so we don't have that directory here. But the web like my app web will host things like controllers and views and those things that get loaded on the web. And then I think what they say, the domain specific functionalities, I think that's where we have the contexts. Yeah, so like the directory that holds, maybe if I get another Phoenix app on GitHub, Championer. I think in lib. So like here you see we have Championer 1 web. So the project is called Championer 1, but then we'll have Championer 1 web that will have controllers, templates, views, channels, and all that stuff that are concerned about displaying stuff on the web. And then we'll have Championer 1, which has maybe contexts of like these are the schemas, like formerly the models. Yeah, so whatever are specific to the domain, like the models, and now they call them schemas, they are posted elsewhere. But then they're saying that's also configurable. You can choose where they go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're saying alternatively, the dash context app option may be supplied to the generator. So mix with sales user, then context app, where else? I'm not sure I understand what this does, but yeah, this creates the app for the context.
So the context will just be like some sort of folder to which all those files will be generated into.
Yes. Like this, and yeah, so this will be the folder. Yeah. Maybe we run the command and see what happens.
Yeah.
I feel like
Let's get our hands dirty and know what happens.
I feel like
It's been a long time coming.
this was kind of like our pairing session last week, Mike, where we were gonna run that Rails generate, and we ended up talking and like for an hour, and then we finally ran the thing, and it was like everyone was tired and went to sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. You know, I think we can learn by being mindful of what we're doing instead of just doing it. I do sometimes. I tend to be a little bit more like lean towards just doing it and worrying about what it all means later. More than you a little bit, Mike. But I think it's. I guess I'm the one that suggested we do this, so I think I do think it's good.
Nice. Now see the files we have generated. So we have Symfony's web. We have the controller. Then we have the view. Then we have the controller test. Then inset view. Callback controller. Now this is the this is the schema, and then the migration and let's see how it looks out here. Too much. So this is the context, and within the context we have the resource where they've generated the I almost call it model all the time. So the schema. And then outside this context, they have this. And what this does is like it has the functions that do querying of this context. For example, you can see on this file, we have delete artist, update artist, create artist, get artist, and stuff like that. Then we have the web This is the controller. Wow, these guys have generated everything. Okay, so we have create, show, update, delete.
So this is more like scaffolding in Rails, right? You're scaffolding everything.
Yeah, yeah.
I see that.
Then fallback controller. I don't know who this is.
Luis, the handle requests that are not specified in the main controller.
Yeah, it's like handling 404 errors and handling unprocessable entity and not found.
And then we have the view. Which has the pattern match render with index, show, artist, and set view. Yeah, and then inside thread we
I have to leave.
Yep.
I have to put my kid to bed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have another one of this next week. So.
Yep. We will. We will be here every week. Actually, you do on the weekends as well, Mike.
Yeah, we do the weekend collaborations.
Yeah, but you've been doing back end collaboration. Yeah.
Yes, but that comes earlier than the normal weekend collaborations. That's at 3 p.m. UTC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So they have the migrations as well for the name that we created and the tests. Yeah. I'm asking myself, what do I need to do now? Push?
Well, we need tests, right? Or did like the generated tests are enough? Or like, I mean, Ryder was talking about doing some different types of tests, like end-to-end type tests, and he was like going back and forth with Federico about this. I don't know if they ever came to like a conclusion on. I don't really know exactly. I mean, we had started, I guess, by adding HTTP poison, or HTTP poison, and like trying to do end-to-end tests using that. But I'm not sure if we ever, really figured out how we would do that.
Yeah. And there was this, instead of using HTTP poison, which is apparently outdated.
Is it?
Yeah. Replacement Elixir. I think I should find that new. How to do.
I'll be right back. I need to run to the toilet.
Tesla.
Hey.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but I think they have a warning here. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I think we back to poison.
Yeah, I mean maybe we use poison until we can do something, you know.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, what do we?
I mean, I don't know.
Agree
I
about?
guess it's like it's partially a decision that we maybe don't make without Federico, you know, because he will have some. I mean, if he wants, does he want end-to-end testing? Is he not so bothered by it? Like, you know.
Yeah. Oh, all this time I have been focused on a code screen. Huh.
At least it wasn't focusing on my screen where I'm like here like.
Yeah. So, what to do? What to do, man?
Is there a way we can test that it's working? Like, do we have anything in the back end that we can, or in the front end, I mean, that we can hit an API endpoint and like start it up and hit an API endpoint and get something back? Or, I mean, I guess we don't have any. We could maybe try creating an artist in the back. I don't know. Of course, I need to leave. I need to leave soon. So, I mean, I'm kind of multitasking. You probably noticed.
Yeah. And I got you on check, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, don't leave me yet. So
Yeah.
after doing this, you need to
Bestehen. Class.
so I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going up so that I look at. I don't know why I ran this command.
The tree.
God. Yeah, I thought it was a small thing, you know.
Why don't you do history?
I just want to see. After I ran the generate command, there was this something that they asked me to do. So I can't really remember. So after running the generate, oh yeah, so it just migrate. So they said mix vector. Yep, and then with that, can I do mix test? Nope, not yet. So compilation error file. Module symphony is a database not loaded. She's hurt her fingers. Yeah, so I think this is something to do with the data case stuff. This I remember Ryder asked about this. What is test? Yeah, I thought we created this. Matt, you remember the file where we had the data case?
Do I remember the file where we have the database?
Data case.
Data case?
Yeah.
Let me see, where are you? I mean, unfortunately, I'm in your thing, but I'm not really in it, you know? Doesn't let me search for anything. It's in test support. You find it?
I'm just reaching out the PR. Yeah, there was this test support data case. This, and now we had yeah, but then I think for us it doesn't look for Symfony's test. It looks for Symfony's the data case. So maybe I need to change this. Not sure. DB connection.
You run the migrations, right?
Yeah. So when I do this, when I don't change this, and just run mix tests, get this. So
and you have that sync-for-needs.data case. I think you have sync-for-needs test.data case, but I don't think you. Yeah, so I think maybe you accidentally like selected the wrong one. You know, so they look like they're the same, but one of them was with test because it was the sync-for-needs that I had created from my. So maybe even the wrong one got merged in. You know, I don't know. It shouldn't be sync-for-needs test. Sync-for-needs test is the one that I created on my locally. You know.
Okay.
No, look at Brico because I mean, what's the first thing on that? Oh, because there's no alias, right, on the data case on line 17 and line 22.
Yeah.
Did you already change this?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. So then maybe you need to recreate or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. Because there's probably
What do you mean recreate?
like mix ecto dot create. I don't know if they have like to create the test database or something. You know, because it looks like maybe it was created with the wrong. Yeah, or try migrate. I don't know.
So maybe I need to drop the DB.
Yeah. I put in a pull request to fix that naming error. Copy and paste naming error.
You have already?
Yeah.
Still same failures. Let me see what the first one is. So function routes artist path 2 is undefined. Route is not available. So maybe they want us to come here and do
I mean, those tests that are auto-generated should pass by themselves, right? I mean,
yeah, but they're saying this guy doesn't exist.
yeah, well, there was a route that was created. I saw, but maybe it didn't create all the routes. But it did say that there was a route created, or maybe I'm. I don't know if you can scroll up, if it's easy to scroll up or not.
Doesn't look like it. So yeah, so they wanted me to add this to my API.
All right. Yeah, so maybe copy and paste that. Maybe copy and paste that, eh?
Yeah, maybe we expect a different error. Now that will get me to this. So that's get artist. Route is not defined.
Do it.
Huh. So this should have the get.
I think you.
And 45.
Maybe you need to recompile it.
How do I recompile? Mix compile. Mix compile, yes.
Yeah, mix compile. Mix compile.
Yeah, now it's a DB connection error. Different. So does my test what is username? And then config.exs. The thing count. I should put this for PID. So could not look up repo because it does not start or it does not exist.
Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe I need to Google this guy. Yeah, I guess you have to go.
Yeah, I do need to work on this stuff. Yeah, and I only have a few more hours left
Yeah,
before I'm gonna
maybe.
stop tonight. So I'm not sure. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a mystery, really.
Yeah, maybe I try digging up on it tomorrow, and I take this girl to bed.
Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good to see you.
Yeah, we had stuff done. I've got the
Yes.
PR, and maybe you want to reject the other.
Reject?
Yeah, there was a PR I created earlier for adding Ecto, or how
Ah,
is it done?
I don't know. You mean because you're gonna push up to that same branch?
No, I have a new branch, but we don't
Oh, I
have.
thought
We
you
don't need to
deleted
have
it and
it
called
lying there.
you deleted it and called it the same thing, right?
No, I called a different thing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so we could close the other one.
Yeah, okay. Bye
Cool.
then. See you tomorrow.
So, see ya. Thanks.
All right, bye.